what we have discussed is basically we have discussed up to question number 40, I guess. Yes, question number 40. That is about the normalization. So would like to remind a little about normalization in case you can remember that it's better, right? Normalization means, like, you know, when you are using database, especially these relational databases, when you relational databases are consist of relations for the tables. That is the basic for relational database. Those are consist of tables for the relations. So these relations are having rows about data rows, or you can call records or tuples about subjects or different subjects. Actually, when you're storing data in these relations, you have to consider about some facts. So the major thing is you should not include multi-value cells in table. Then that is really difficult to update, because we are considering about some anomalies. Anomalies means like unpleasant things. Anomalies means like kind of like unwanted troubles, unpleasant things, actually problems. So it can be insertion anomaly, deletion anomaly, or updation anomaly. Okay, for an example, think that in a certain table, you have multiple values in a single cell. So this is multiple values in a single. I have to use this because I'm not using my note these days due to I'm not available in Sri Lanka. But anyway, I have to use internet, but I'll explain this well, right, with the examples, but you're not using my own notes. Multiples are used in a single. This is like first normalized form violation, 1NF violation. Okay, so see this table for an example. Just see this table. The product ID, color, and price. The product ID 1 comes with the color red and green. Product ID 2 comes with color yellow, and product ID 4 comes with another 2 color yellow, blue, and likewise some cells are having multiple values. When you store like this, if you want to update the color of, let's say you want to update the color of product ID 4 to yellow and black, you have to delete both yellow and black, yellow and blue, and update yellow and, because when you try to update this cell, both will be deleted. That is kind of updation anomaly, because there are multiple values. When you try to update that, both values, existing values, this is easy because at least you can read and keep it in the memory. When you are after deletion, it can be inserted. But let's think there are two telephone numbers in one contact, two telephone numbers. If you're trying to update the contact, if it is in a single cell, so let's say you have put your telephone numbers with commas, not in two different values. So it can be land, home, mobile, different cells are there, but you're not putting that. You're just putting your telephone numbers, first number, comma, the second number, and save the contact. Then how can we update that? So there's a problem. When you're trying to update that, or when you try to delete that, the both will be deleted, both will be updated. This is a problem. If you see this kind of thing, the table is not normalized. We call the table is not normalized, and it is violating the first normalization form because not having atomic values. So remember that if a table cell is not having atomic values, or if there are multiple values, it is not in the first normalized form. Understand this carefully. Okay, then I think better we go to a single PDF, because like then it's very easy to explain with the example 1NF, 2NF, then 3NF and BCNF, voice code normalized form. So what are these things? Let's see this with examples very quickly, right? Okay, so then normalization is need to avoid what? Insertion anomaly. When you're trying to insert data, so there can be problems. So insertion anomaly is basically When you try to insert, cannot insert new tuples due to some error. Tuple means a row. So then deletion anomaly, when you're trying to delete, some other data will also be deleted when you don't want to delete that, but still that will be deleted due to some reason. So that is deletion anomaly. Updation anomaly is when you're trying to update. So then multiple, the value requires multiple rows to be updated. Those are some problems, deletion problems, updation anomalies. Okay, one NF. So when a table in is one NF, so the basic property is atomic values, no multi-value attributes, atomic values. Then what is 2NF? 2NF is basically, so everything must depend on a primary key. Only should depend on the primary key, and that should be fully functionally depend on the primary key, not partially. That means you need to avoid the partial dependencies. What are these partial dependencies? Unfortunately, you cannot see any examples there. So let's go for a tutorial with examples, because like in order to see these partial dependencies, okay, let's go to this one and see whether you have something. Right. Refer to this table. It's having atomic values. But the problem is, I think the data redundancy, yes, the data is redundant. The same data is, you can see 4 times there. Here, branch, HOD, and official tell, all are. So this is data redundancy. But anyway, this table is in 1NF. Fortunately, this table in is 1NF, because when you're trying to insert something or update something, so let's say Mr. X leaves here. So you need to update all these cells. That is a headache. When you try to insert something, again a problem, right? So 100 students the same way, then the branch information will be repeated 100 times. Yeah. When you insert 100 students, these information will be repeated. Deletion anomaly, if you want to delete something, so delete in maybe because 2 tables kept together. When you delete something, sometimes it can delete the wanted records also. But anyway, this table is in 1NF because atomic values are there. So then, okay, the first normalization is forms on, that is based on fully like this. Remember this point, atomic values, right? And unique names in the table, field names, and same domain. So you should store the same domain. Don't unrelated things cannot be stored, but these are not much considered. Order of data doesn't matter, but one thing is you have to consider about the atomic values. But still, you cannot see an example, right? Oh, that's a thing. Shall we go to the expanded format? Check is there something. Okay, here you can see this is multi-value cells. This should be avoided in order to update this to. And can you see how it is done? So there's a table, and this table is having like multiple subjects in this subject column. How they have updated, they have repeated that 101 OS, 101 CA, 102 C, 102 C++. Likewise, atomic values are introduced. But the problem is what? Then it will duplicate the data. Then anyway, this satisfy the first normalized form. But there's a problem. What is the problem? Data redundancy is still there. So what is 2NF? 2NF is on considering about the avoiding partial dependency. But that means everything should be fully functionally depend on the key only the key. Right, student ID. Let's see the data in this table. Student ID, name, registration number, branch, and address. Student ID 10 account, and student ID 11 is also an account. Then we can see some registration number and branch and the subject. So the primary key or the main key of this table is student ID. Okay, student ID 10, what is the branch name? Okay, you'll get this. Then if I the student ID 10 or 11, okay, student ID, every other column depends on it. So can be fetched using it. That is good, right? So this dependence is also called the functional dependence. That means everything depends on the student ID, right? When you give the student ID, you can obtain any data. You agree on that? If I give student ID 10, what is the name? Account. Student ID 10, what is the registration number? Student ID 11, what is the registration number? You can get it. Student ID 10, what is the branch? You can get it. Student ID 11, what is the address? You can get it. Like if you can get all the data using one key or one field, that is called. So these other fields are functionally depend on this. That means if you change this to 11, if you change this 10 to 11, these fields will change. The reason is it is functionally depend on that. Functionally depend කියන්නේ මෙයාව වෙනස් කළොත් මෙයාලවත් වෙනස් වෙනවා. අපි හිතමු we are functionally depend on our dad. We are functionally depend on our father. If you change the father, children also change, right? So let's say there are two families, father number 1, father number 2. If you change the father, if you consider the father number 1, they are children, his children, depending on him. But if you take the other father, the children will change. That means the children, they are functionally depend on father, right? That is what the functionally depend. But there's something called partial dependency. Partial dependence is there where you are having a composite primary key. දෙන්නෙක් එකතු වෙලා primary key එකක් හැදුවා. එතකොට තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ. එහෙම නැති හැම table එකකම 2NF. 1NF තියෙනවා නම් if 1NF is preserved, all the tables with a single primary key are in 2NF. No doubt about that. If table is already in 1NF and having a single primary key, definitely it is in 2NF. But if there is a composite primary key means two keys together working as the primary key. Okay, score ID, student ID, subject ID. So here, student ID, subject ID. That is a candidate key. Candidate key means suitable for a primary key because subject ID itself is repeating, not good for primary key because primary key should be non-repeating and also it should be not null. It should not repeat, it should not null. Here student ID is also repeating. No. But if you take student ID, subject ID together, 10-1, 10-2, 11-1, yes, that is unique. So you can take these two together as the primary key. These two together as the primary key. If you set like that, then the problem, you can see subject ID 1 is Java teacher. Subject ID 1 is Java teacher. If you change subject ID 2, it is C++ teacher. That means you took this, two as the primary key. But there's an issue because this red color one, which is teacher, depends on part of the primary key. That is called partial dependence. The teacher depends on part of the primary key. Composite එකක් තියෙනවා දෙන්නෙක් එකතු වෙලා හදාගෙන primary key එකක්. හැබැයි එක්කෙනෙක් මත තව එක්කෙනෙක් විතරක් මත depend වෙනවා. ඒතර ඔයා මේක change කරොත් if you change the subject ID, the teacher will also change. There is a problem. There is a problem because it is partial dependence. So when there's a partial dependency, it violates the second normalized. That means part of the, like some other key is depend on part of the primary key. Then it violates the second normalized form. If that is it for the 2NF. So no partial dependencies, then the table is in 2NF. Okay, remember the first format, 1NF atomic values, 2NF no partial dependencies, and also in the first normalized form. Because without achieving the first normalization form, that cannot achieve the second normalized. Without going to grade 1, you cannot come to grade 2. Grade 1 is must. Similar to that, normalized form 1 is must and no partial dependence. But partial dependencies are only there when there's a composite primary key, otherwise no such thing. Then the third thing, transitive dependencies. That is interesting thing. That is where the non-key depend on non-key. So what is that? Okay, here, subject ID you can consider as the primary key. Okay, 1, 2, 3, it is unique. You are happy because it is not a composite primary key. Neither. So you are happy because why? you don't have any composite trouble, then show it is good. Single is always good rather than be a couple, right? Less trouble. So then you are happy because this is anyway in one NF. So you have to think about this carefully, right? Because like when there are two, so it introduces problem. When there's one, no problems. You can do anything. The independence is there. So see, when there are two values in one cell, a problem. Two values in one cell violate the first normalized form. Then two keys together composite the primary key. Again violates the second normalized form. Sometimes, because if there are partial dependencies, only if there are partial dependencies, right? Not because the composite primary key. Don't think that if there's a composite primary key that is not in 2NF. That is wrong assumption, right? Composite දෙන්න එකතු වෙලා එකා වගේ වැඩ කරනවා නම් කමන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි දෙන්න එකතු වෙලා එක්කෙනෙකුට හොරෙන් අනිත් එක්කෙනා වැඩ කරනවා. That's a problem, right? But if both are working as single person, if all others are depend on both, very good. But the problem is sometimes one person can hide another relationship that's having one person can hide. That is a problem. So that is violating the second normalization. Then third one, it's very good having one key, happy, but others are behaving miserably. Now you are happy with the primary key, but others, they depend on each other. Yeah, they are not caring you because they are a class teacher in the class, but students, they are doing their own work like you. You see, they are chatting, they are doing some. So I have seen this in grade 6, 7, 8, like small classes. The kids, they are chatting. Sometimes they are sending this chat to me also. Yeah, what the hell that man is telling likewise. So they are sending that chat like mistakenly. They are sending chats to me also sometimes. Then I know these guys what these guys are doing. Sometimes they are talking about a triggered match. They are chatting. Oh, right. So that is violating the third normalized. That means here subject name teacher, right? Here Java means Java teacher, PHP, C++. Based on the subject teacher depends. Transitive dependency. A non-key depend on another non-key, which is transitive dependency. That's a problem. That's violate the third normalized form. If there are no transitive dependencies, very good, you are in the third normalized form. The boys code normalized form is the other way. When there is like when it is in the third normalized form for x, for each functional dependency, x dependent and x should be a super key. Then BCNF comes, that is the reverse, other way. That means when you are trying to here, you can say B and A should depend on A, right? But sometimes it happens the other way, right? That is depending on some other point, like so. That means you have here table, student ID, and the professor. As you see later there, right? Okay. For each subject, processor is assigned to the student. So you can see the student ID is not unique, 2 times there. So student ID subject together create the composite key, it seems 101 Java, 101 C++, 102 Java, 103 C#, and 104, yes, composite key, right? Student ID subject together, primary key, because, but the problem is here subject and the professor, where the subject depend on the professor's name. මේක අනිත් පැත්ත. අර මේ මොකද්ද 2NF එකේ තිබ්බේ මේකේ කෑල්ලක් මත මෙයා ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන එක. මේකෙදි එහෙම නැහැ. So this one is together, this is acting as a composite key. Then there's a composite key, you have to be careful, you know that. But here's something else. Actually, the third party, the third one, or the non-key is determinant. Non-key is determine the subject. That's the problem. A third party involved in your relationship. The first, like in the 2NF, what is the violation? Your girlfriend or your boyfriend involved in some other relationship. That is a clear violation. Something hiding from you, that is violating first, second normalized. When it happens, you should think, this is related to my A-level ICT paper. This violate the second normalized form. Don't think much. So just think like that and forget it. Then the other way, like here, there's external party. This is like most of the time you are facing this problem, right? He or she is following your fiancé. That's a problem. Right again. That is the Boyce code normalized form. That is a reverse of 2NF. Okay, those are the normalized forms that you're having. I think it's an interesting lesson to learn about the normalized. Right? I hope that you will never forget these things again. So please remember for the examination. Then now you know. So we have discussed the answer for the question last day. Right, considered in this admission number, name with initials. No answer was there. Why? Because student relation is not normalized. No, all atomic values seems all atomic values. It's normalized into the first NF. Student is in the 1NF only. Since there is no composite key, it is in 2NF2. So it's not just in the 1NF. Is there any composite key? See on the given postal code in only one postal code exists. There is a none key depend on none key here. It's given postal code and postal town having a dependency that is violating the third normalization form. The student relation, the 1NF only, no, that is in 2NF2. Student relation is not normalized, no, that is also false. And the normalized form, student relation in the second normalized form, and hence also in the first normalized form, C, so that is correct. Second normalized form, hence also in the 1NF, that is also correct. But the problem is like you don't have answer C only. Therefore, we consider that as false. Okay, which of the following display 41, 42, 43? Quickly answer the questions 41, 42, and 43. Send me the answers question. Quickly, I'll discuss them. That select asterisk all from students where the postal code equal this, the house number equal 38. This is about the SQL queries. So let's go through these things because there will be questions in this second part and the structure part also. So very quickly going through the SQL queries. A quick reminder for those who missed in theory class, but I really invite you to watch the videos in the theory class because like I cannot cover everything in the revision or the paper class. That is not possible. But anyway, I'll give you very quick reminder on this. First of all, I'm going to open my control panel for SAMP, and I'm going to run my SQL server. It's already running. My SQL is already running because I need SQL server to run the SQL queries. If it is running, I can access the SQL part. First of all, you need to see where this path is, the installation path. You can see it's installed to Z SAMP folder, and there's a folder called MySQL. Here, sorry, MySQL here, and there is exe call, executable file called MySQL. Inside bin binary folder, there is executable file called mysql.exe. This is actually the server instance. This is the application related to the server instance. Remember the path. The path is csamp mysql bin. So I'm going to move to that path first. csamp mysql bin. Yeah, I'm in that path. Then mysql minus u user is root, and minus p is for the password. Password is blank, so I'm just entering without typing anything. Okay, I'm in the MariaDB or MySQL DBMS database management system. You can see that. with this because the prompt has changed MariaDB. None means nothing is selected. First of all, I can see the databases in the database management system. Show databases, and you can see there are few databases available. DB user, information schema, MySQL, performance schema, PHP, MyAdmin, test. These are the databases available in the database. The command is show databases. If I want to create a new database, I can write the command create database. Let's say hello, and it will create a new database called hello. And if I show the databases again, now you can see hello database also in the MySQL database. I'm reading a little bit faster. So if you have any issue, please let me know because I want to cover this very quickly. That's why, right? Okay, now you can see hello is also there in the DBMS. So this is a DDL command, data definition language command, because you are creating something. You are changing the structure in the database management system. Those are called DDL, data definition language command. So I want to select the table hello, so database hello. I can use hello, and that will set my database. You can see MariaDB hello now. I'm inside the hello database. I want to see the tables, show tables. We'll display the tables there, empty set because nothing is there. That is a fresh database, no table is there. I just want to create a new table. I can create a table. Let's say I'm going to create table user, and then I can define the table field user ID. I have to define that as int. Let's say for not null, not empty, because it is the primary key that I'm going to assign, primary key, and I'm going to automatically increment that. Then my database will handle that. I don't want to worry. When I insert a record, it will automatically increment by 1. The first ID, like when you register, you will get the first ID. The second user will automatically get the second ID. The third user will get third ID. That is the create table user. UID int for not null, primary key, auto increment. I need to type the username variable characters vacha 30, and I just need not null, not empty, and then email. Let's say variable character. I just need a variable character 44 email, and it's not null, and I just want to store one more thing. Let's say tell int 9-digit telephone number, not null, and I just need to install put the password also, password, and that is okay, vacha 30 for the password. Let me finish the table definition by closing this, and you can see the table is created. This is also data definition language query, DDL query. I'm creating a table, a database table. That is why I said to discuss the first paper, it will take time. Don't worry, we are covering closer to 70% of the theories, and also revising those things. Therefore, don't worry, don't be upset. Still, we are discussing 2018 paper. When we are going to discuss 2019-20, don't be upset. So let's leisurely discuss the 2018, but 2019 and 2021 papers will be adventurous. Like I will do a little bit faster than this. The next one is even more faster, and maybe the final one is very fast. So gradually increase the speed, right? Don't worry. If you want to describe the table, desk user, the table name, and it will describe the table here. This is how, right? That describe the table. Now these are the table things. And if I want to, so all these things are DDL queries. I just need to see the data inside this table. I'm telling select all from the table name user. You can see it's empty set. Nothing is there because no data inserted. Now I want to write the ML query for inserting some data. I just need to insert data into this table. One method is insert into user. You can type the column names, UID, or the field names, uname, email, telephone number, password. Okay, then values. Just need to include the values. Here I can give null because like null will never be entered because automatically I can give 1 also, right? But no need to put because it will automatically add. Let's put 1 and see. The username I'm putting Okay, Dasun NS, and the next one. In the quotation, the string values should be coded Dasun at GSETS. Okay, and the telephone number. Integer value you can write without the quotation. Some integer, so no need to be. Then what? Tell is okay. Email is okay. Tell is okay. The password okay. A simple password. Bracket close semicolon. Bracket close semicolon. Enter. One row affected. If I select all from the user now, you can see one data is there. The one thing is you can give the columns and then you can insert the values. Actually, this order doesn't matter, right? Order doesn't matter. That means if you just insert without mentioning the order, without really writing the order, I'm writing username, user mail, then the telephone number, and after that email, email, then password. Can input like that? So here I'm putting null. I will let the database automatically add that. So let's write some other admin, and okay, this should be according to the order that you have given, right? Username is admin, and after that the telephone number comes. After the admin, telephone number comes. Then the email, admin. Okay. After that, the password. Okay, that's it. If you change the order, give it according to the changed order. The order changed here, then you have to give according to that order, and you can see that data is inserted. Then select, now 2 rows are there in this. These are DML, data manipulation. Okay, I want to change the telephone number. I mistakenly entered the same telephone number for the Dasun as an admin. I just want to change the telephone number. That is update query. I can update table name user, set telephone number equal the new value, where I can use the primary key UID equal 1. That will update. Okay, select. You can see it's updated. So that is the updated query, updation query. I cannot show you everything. I said that, but I will summarize the lesson. That is also a DML query, data manipulation language. And inserting can be done this way also, without mentioning the column order. I can just tell you the values, but if you are given values like this, then the column order, the value order actually should be according to the database. Otherwise, that's the problem, right? So this should be really according to the database. You can give null because the first column is this. The second is username, let's say Nisha, then email nisha@gmail.com, then the telephone number, then the password inside the quotation because it's Vacha. Okay, this can be done. This is correct. It will insert, and you can insert multiple values by putting a comma. Okay, after Nisha, I'm going to insert another one. Let's say Malindu. Malindu's telephone, Malindu's email, and then Malindu's telephone number, then Malindu's password. Okay, closing this bracket, put in a comma, right? Close in this bracket, put in a comma, and write in next set null Kasuni. You can write in the next line also. These are multiple ways of inserting, right? Kasuni, and okay, the telephone number, have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 9. Okay, password, let's make it shorter. Close the brackets, semicolon. Now, oh, if you have any duplicates, did I insert any duplicates? Yeah. No, duplicate 0, records 2, duplicate 0. Okay, 2 records inserted, you can see. So if I select from the database, now you can see everything is inserted there. There are multiple records. So inserting can be done few ways. One is giving the column order and the value order. Then you can swap the column order, but you have to swap the value order accordingly. Then without considering the columns, you can just give values, but you have to give exactly same as the column order in the database. You can give multiple values by putting comma values, the first set, the comma, the next set. Likewise, you can give multiple. These are multiple ways of inserting. Then updating, I have done. How to delete? I just want to delete Nisha, UID3. You have to always refer to the primary key, but there are other ways. Like before that, let's select more. I just need to select names only. Select name, uname from user. That's it. That will only give the username. I can select 2 or 3 multiples possible. Username, tell, and email from user. Okay, here it is. I can rename these columns. Username, uname as let's say username, a decent name. Tell as telephone. Email, let's keep it as easily. As you can see, now username, telephone, you can rename the columns while selecting. These are multiple ways of selecting. And how can we project? How can we like extract the value? I just need dial-up telephone numbers. How can I get that? I just need the dial-up telephone numbers. I just need the users with the dial-up telephone numbers. I'm writing a query. Select. Okay, I can write this from user where telephone number equal dialog. Cannot give like we have to logically tell that we are tell like I can say 77 is dialog or tell like okay tell like the 77 or tell like 76 is dialog, I guess. Then what's that? Oh, tell like 77 you have to put the percentage mark. The remaining should also come. 6. What's that? Do I need to code this? Seems. Yes, I need to code that. Tell like 77 or tell like even 76 are dialog 76 alike because you exactly not the same. But like 777674, you can keep adding these things and you are getting only the dialog numbers filtered. So these select queries can be customized. Very fast SQL lesson, SQL Express. Right? Select queries can be customized. Let's say I want to select everything again. Select all from user. Select all from user. And I just want to delete from user where I can say what to delete. Maybe I can give the like query where the names like Nisha, uname like NI, then everything with NI, starting with NI will be deleted. But the best way is using the primary key where UID, that is equal, right? Not like, because you can exactly tell delete Nisha. No confirmations, it will be gone. No undos available, right? Cannot undo that. But in advanced databases, you can do this as a like ADBMS, you can do as transaction, then you can commit or roll back. that undo redo features are there in transaction management, TCL, that is not there in A-level ICT syllabus. Don't worry. Any doubt? Anything that you need to know about SQL? I think the SQL is the easiest lesson, right? Isn't that so? Guys, sleeping. Hello? Can you hear me? No. Oh my God, sorry.
Yes.
I did the wrong thing. You can hear me, right? At least one is alive after the lesson. I'm happy. Right? Others almost gone. Sorry. I did a practical lesson. I forgot that you are doing A-level ICT. In Sri Lankan contest, most of the A-level ICT students want to do the paper, but not the ICT practical. They want to know how to write the paper, but they don't want to learn ICT. I know that. Sorry, my mistake. I use the command. I do the command mistakes again, and I'm really sorry about that. Anyway, if you have exam-related questions, now you can ask. Not the practical. Don't forget about that. Forget the practical. Tell me if there are any exam related questions. There are many questions, right? Is it in the paper? Okay. Right. Select all from the student where the postal code is this and house number is equal 30. That will give all records, all field records having the postal code 10120 and the house number 308. 4 is the answer. What is drop? You're asking one question. Drop is that is a DDL query to drop the table. That will drop everything. The table will be deleted. That's a DDL. Actually, one option is truncate. Truncate. Right? When you truncate the table, after selecting, you can see the table is empty. When you truncate, the data will be deleted. But if you drop table user, nothing will be there. Even the table will be deleted. Table and related data will be deleted. TABLE. Oh, what did I write? Okay. Now even the table is not available, right? Yes, table is also doesn't exist. That is dropped. Dropped is deleting table. Truncate is vanishing data. You can drop the database too. You can alter the table to edit the table column names. That I didn't discuss. That is also DDL. Alter table, you can alter the structure, change the structure. That is also DDL. Then truncate is DML. Then drop is DDL. Consider the following statements related to entity relationship diagrams. ER diagrams or entity relationship diagrams. Cardinality specified how many instances of one entity related to one instance of other entity. Yes, cardinality, multiplicity, sorry, cardinality, multiplicity, or optionality. So that indicate how many instant of one entity related to the other entity, because teacher and student. Teacher teaches many students. So teacher side one, student side many. Teacher is one entity, student is another entity, teacher side one and student side many. Then we call that cardinality is one to many. So, and similarly, teacher teaches student and student have many teachers, then it is many to many. Right? Student is taught by many teachers and teacher teach many students. That is a many to many relationship that should be avoided. Because when you are drawing the ER model, ER diagrams, many to many relationships, it's very difficult to, it's like complicated to implement in the database. Therefore, we will break down into one to many. If there are many to many, we will break down, but many to many are also there. One to one relationship is basically one entity is having corresponding one entity in the other side. Okay, let's say NIC is entity and the person is entity. Person have NIC. Person will have only one NIC. Person gets only one NIC. NIC belongs to particular person only. That is one-to-one relationship. That is called cardinality. One-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many. An entity is a thing or object in the real world that can be identified separately, distinguishable from all other objects. Yes, that can be identified separately from other objects. Possible. That's true. Okay, the next is cardinality. Specify primary key attribute of an entity. No, that is not to specify. The cardinality is basically the optionality or multiplicity. That is not to specify the primary key. 42. Answer should be A, B, only its number 2. Right, I think you have given these answers. 42, number 2, yes, correct. And B, yeah, correct. Consider the following statement. I'm happy about you if you have not referred to the what marking scheme, and if you have answered, then definitely you will go for good results this time. Many students, something to be happy. Good. I don't know whether you have done this paper earlier. If not, consider the following statement regarding the functional and non-functional requirements of sales system. Functional requirements are mandatory requirements. Actually, how things to be what are the things to be done? That is functional. How it should be done? That is non-functional. That is the easiest way of it. Right? What are the things to be done? Okay, let's say I want to register a student. I want to register a student within 2 seconds. That is non-functional. The functional is I want to register the student. What to be done and how to be done, or the constraints on that functional requirement are called non-functional requirement. That is the easiest way to remove. Functional requirement are the basically functions expected by the system. Non-functional requirements are the constraints for that functional requirement. So that is the easiest way of remembering this. This is coming in system development life cycles requirement base. Read barcode items purchased and produce the invoice. It's a functional. It's a functional. Access users request and respond less than once, another constraint, a limitation to that function. That is non-functional. That is easier. Process a minimum of 100 transactions per second. That is also a limitation. It's also non-functional. So the answer for 43, 1 is functional, 2, 3 non-functional. It's number 2. 43, number 2. Yeah, correct. Correct. So I think less number of students answered the 43. Yes, it is less. So please remember the functional requirements are the necessary things, required thing from the system. Okay, I want to establish student registration system. The functional requirement are registering the student, show a receipt, take payment, show a registration ID, enroll for the course. These are functional requirements. The student's ID should be beautiful, looks attractive, right? Those things are non-functional, but still very important, because non-functional, even so, functional requirements are there. Well, let's say you are comparing 2 gas cookers. Both are having the functional requirement. Otherwise, it's not called gas cooker. But you will go for more attractive one with more fancy features. That is not functional. The non-functional define the sales value of that system. If you are designing a generic system, this non-functional requirement should be given a proper attention. But anyway, functional requirement should be accomplished, should be achieved. Okay, let's move to the next. So all these discussions I'm uploading to the channel. because this is the first phase, but after that I will not do this. Like, this is beneficial for many students are just dropping it, but not each and everything. The important things I will just post it, but after that I will only put not everything, right? I'll put only selected sections. 44 to 46, shall we do now? Yeah, it's time. 44 to 46. 44 to 46. Quickly send me the answers. Consider the following software development lifecycle models: spiral, waterfall, rapid application develop. Which one development? Which of the above requires defining and finalizing requirements in the early phase of the life cycle? Right, waterfall model. All these phases, including the problem definition. Then we are gathering the requirement analysis. After that, we do the design. We are planning. Right. Let's think about a general thing. You want to build a new house. Don't think about software. Just think about a general, small, related scenario. You want to build a new house. First of all, what you do, you find out your requirement, the problem. What kind of requirements set you? Are you going to build a 3-story house, 2-story house, only 1 story? Likewise, you have to figure out how many bathrooms, how many washrooms, how many bedrooms. Likewise, all these things you have to figure out first. How many people are living there? So we has the location, as the suitable, what is the suitable place. After finding out all these things, you have to find out most feasible solution, which is matching with our budget, which is matching with the technology, which is matching with the environment. Environmental feasibility, technological feasibility, financial feasibility, social feasibility, legal feasibility. All these things need to be considered. Right? Legislation, what are the rules there? So sometimes some areas you cannot construct a house in a very small area like 6 perch or 5 perch area. You will not be able to build a house because legally it is not feasible. Even though you want to build a very small house, legally they are not allowing you to build that kind of allowing you to get that kind of land. That can be a problem. The minimum land area that they are allocating is maybe 15 perches. And another problem is when you are going to build house, sometimes some areas you are not going to build, you are not allowed to build multiple story building. And when you're placing the washrooms, then these the well, if you're placing a well, or this what the wastage water, or these gullies and all, when you're placing that, so then you have to consider about that as well. So all these things needs legal approval. So social, legal, economical, environmental, technological feasibility, that is coming in the system requirement analysis phase. After finding out all this, after finalizing that, you have to build a plan and get the approval. So that is the system planning, design in place. That is where you draw the diagrams. Here, actually, we are drawing not the house plans, we are drawing flow charts, pseudocode, ER diagrams, DFDs, data flow diagrams, then class diagrams, sequence diagrams. These diagrams are drawn this phase. After that, the actual implementation, the coding phase. We do the real coding, implementing the system, and that will be tested frequently. Units tested, then integrated testing is like combining different objects that will be tested. Then the next phase is the entire system is tested. Finally, you are given that the system will be given to the user, and that will be tested. Called acceptance testing. All this testing need to be done. So that is parallel with the development testing. Then like deployment, you have to give it to the actual user finally. And even after giving the review and maintenance should be done. So that is SDLC, system development lifecycle. Those are the phases of SDLC. So spiral model is basically considered about the risk reduction, reducing the risk. Always analyze the risk. This is good for risky systems, analyze the risk, that phase is developed. The next spiral, analyze the risk, that phase is developed. Likewise, by analyzing the risk, that is analyzing, risk analyzing, implementing, designing, coding. So that is cyclically, spirally done. The waterfall model, everything should be done in order from the starting position to the ending position, like a waterfall sequential implementation. Rapid application development is focusing on shorter schedules. Basically, shorter means not 1 day or 2 day schedules. So in RAD, basically, we are referring to 90 days schedule, that's 3 months, 90 days. And we are considering about the skilled workers with advanced tools, SAT, skilled workers with advanced tools. So have you seen that when this flooding and some, like especially when this flooding or landslip happens, so these RDA people will quickly come up with some tools, already constructed bridges, and setting up these temporary bridges. That is kind of RAD. Right? Temporary bridge. Landslide. When landslides are there, so this is basically done. So very quick implementation of bridges, especially when there's a landslide. So this is like, it is preset, already set. The modules are set to assemble. So they will come up, the skilled workers will come with some advanced tools. Within 1 or 2 days, the bridge will be constructed. But that is temporary, but it's very quick method of implementing. That is rapid. That is why I call rapid application. In software development also, the RAD module is applicable. So which need the requirement, which need to know the prior requirement. So actually, so in this rapid application development, right, in the rapid application development phase, you need to consider about, that is like you already know the requirements, you come and implement, no need to analyze it. So define the finalizing the requirement is early phase, needed in the early phase in the waterfall model. By the spiral model, time to time it is changing, so time to time it is done, because it is spiral, a cyclic model. So B is the answer here. 44. Okay. 44. B. Yeah. 44. Yes, all have given. Then pace by pace. That is called paced development. If you are doing it pace by pace, your spiral model actually, so it's kind of an incremental development. Not even, yes, you can call that pace by pace, but the thing is basically, yeah, it's okay. You can call pace by pace, but that is not the pace development. Basically, the system, the features are added one by one. Features are not one by one, portion by portion. Consider the following statement regarding the structured and object-oriented software development methodologies. Structured analysis and designing represent the system as a hierarchy of functions. Structured system analysis. Hierarchy of functions. Yes, structural model, that is where we consider about sequence, selection, repetition. Highly, we basically consider about the functions. What are the things happening? Rather than who is in the system, what are the components in the system, we consider about the functionality. For an example, if you want to develop the student registration system in structured model, we consider about the student will come, fill the registration form. After filling the registration form, he will submit it to reception. Then after that, he will do the payment. So these functions will be given the priority. But in the object-oriented methodology, the participants are considered. Student, receptionist, printer or system, student, receptionist, the system, the participants. The message passing happen between these participants. So that is object-oriented model. Actually, object is instance of a class. What is class? Class is a blueprint or template for a set of similar type of objects. Class is a blueprint or template for a set of similar type. For an example, student is a class. Student is a class. Student has a student name, student ID, student number, user maybe student date of birth, gender, address, telephone number, all these things. But if I ask, what is the telephone number of the student? You should ask, which student? You should ask me back, which student? What is the telephone number of the student? Because class has all these properties, right? Class student number is there, registration number, the telephone number, address. What is the address of the student? You should ask me, which student? Because class is only a concept. In the concept, we know these properties are there. It's like the template of making bricks. අර ගඩොල් හදන්න තියෙන ටෙම්ප්ලේට් එකක් අච්චුව. ගඩොල් අච්චුවෙන් අපි ගෙවල් හදන්නේ. ගඩොල හදන්න ඕන ෆීචර්ස් ටික ගන්නවා විතරයි. ඒ වගේ තමයි the student කියන අච්චුවක් වගේ. Student is like a template. Right? Using that template, we make the student. But without making the student, we cannot ask what is the student registration number, what is the name, what is the telephone number. We cannot ask that because still student is not there. It is only a template. That is class. Class is a blueprint, template. But object is the real thing, instant of class. Okay, student Varun is a real student of that class. Student Netuli is a real student of that class. Student Senali is a real student of that class. Right? Then we can ask what is the first name, what is the date of birth. Then we can ask those questions. That's the nature. Right? Okay, then object-oriented programming is basically considered about those classes and objects. Structured analysis design about the functions, true. Structured design is system interacting, design is system of interacting objects. No, that is object-oriented. Object-oriented methodology combines data and process into individual entities. Yes, those are the objects or the classes. AC, correct. So the answer is number 3. AC only. 45. No one has answered, right? Oh, it is B is not answered here. Structured system interacting objects. No, that is in object-oriented, right? Interacting objects are there. Object-oriented. Make functions with that. කවුද කරන්නේ ඒවා වැඩන්නේ වෙන වැඩ ටික වෙන වැඩ ටික කියන්න මං කරන්නම් that is the system මේකේ object oriented එකේ ඉන්න කට්ටිය කියන්න කොහොමද මේ කට්ටිය වැඩ කරන්නේ that is objects and their relationships classes objects and their relationships. Okay, what is the output of the following Python code segment if executed with 30 as the input? Raw input make a parana raw input with an input. Raw input was there in the 2.7 Python 2.7 the earlier version. Now we are using Python 3, but we don't have any kind of raw input there. We just consider the input. Other things are okay, but here only has input. Okay, getting the input, converting into int. If it is 30 less than 40, yes, 30 less than 40. Result will be 1. 30 less than 10, no. 30 less than 20, no. Come to else, result is 4. Result is 4 means the answer is 4. It's very easy. Very, very easy. What you need to do is assign this value, right? Assign the value. Don't think this is Python program, ammo Python mama danne, Python amarui. Bailani over hitanne ba. Ovagin vibaga liyanna ba. Python, we have done a lot of practical lessons. Even if you missed that, please go and watch the videos. Insert 30 there. 30 is here. 30 less than 40, yes. But 30 not less than 10, no. 30 less than 20, no. Then it will come here. It will say result equal 4. Finally, you are printing the result. That is 4. That's it. If 30 is not less than 40, then directly come and result will be 5. That is not relevant to this one. So anyway, answer is number 4. 47, 48, 49. Sorry. What's going on there? It's not. It's in the size. 47, 48, 49. Today I'm going to finish this. What's the time? Here time is 11:30. In Sri Lanka, it is 9, right? 9. When we have started? $7:30, I guess. Doesn't matter, right? Let's stay for few minutes. Let's finish this. Then we can start at the fresh pair. 47, 48, 49. Quickly. I'll give you 2 minutes. What is the output of the following Python code? S equals 0 for I in range 10. For I in range 10 means going from 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. S equal S plus 1. So you are going to add that. S is a variable, initially empty. I is going to change, I's value is going to change from 0 to 9. So I's value will be initially 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this I will be continuously added to the current S. Current S is 0. S is like a bucket. It's like a bucket, empty bucket, and there are apples falling down. So how many times it will fall down? 10 times the apples are going to fall down. You are catching it into the same bucket. S is that bucket. Initially it is empty. You carry the same bucket and you catch the new item falling into. The item values, you can see these are the item values. 0, when it falls 0, this value is 0. Then 1 falls. Then currently 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. Then 2 falls. Currently 1, 1 plus 2 is 3. Then 3 falls. Then 3 plus 3 is 6. Then 4, 10. 10 plus 5, 15. That plus 6, 21. Plus 7, 28. Plus 8, 36. Plus 9, 45. So question number 47, the answer is 45. I hope you discovered the answer. If not, if my explanation is not enough, let me know, because we haven't discussed Python a lot. We just touched the surface. The answer is 45. How you obtain? You keep adding the value of I to the empty S. When what is the output of the following Python code segment? A list is given 2, 3, 11, 13, 5, 7. S is 0 for I in range. The length of list, what is the length? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going from the 0th item to 5th item. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, going through the list. And if the list item, okay, is greater than 10, continue. Greater than 10, continue. You're not doing anything. Continue means skip, pass that value, skip that value. If the item value is greater than 10, you skip. So here, this will be skipped, this will be skipped. Otherwise, you are adding that item to the empty list. Again, the same thing, like earlier one. You are adding the value to the same list, but if the value is more than 10, you skip. Then 2 will be added, 3 will be added, 5 will be added, 10, then 7 will be added, 17. So the answer for 48 is 4. It's 4, right? 48 is 4. 17. Right? 2, 3 plus 5 plus 5 is 7. 10 plus 7 is 17. Yeah. Okay. 2 more. Consider the following Python code segment with a blank line. The line numbers on the left are shown for guidance only. They are not the part of code. Line numbers are not the part of the code. Empty line. S arg1, arg2, written as function defines total is sum 20, 30. So then this should define a function. How to define a function? Def is the keyword. Don't worry, we will discuss Python questions. I know that I'm unfair. I have not discussed the Python theory, and some of you have not covered the theory. For them, that is a problem. Don't worry, next day I will discuss the Python and give you a brief idea about this. Def is to define a function. Function name should be sum, because that is what used here. Def sum. Def sum, how many arguments it takes? 1, 2 arguments. Def sum, arg1, arg2. So 2 is the answer. Def, define function sum. It takes 2 arguments, arg1, arg2. Okay. Python questions in 2018 paper are not difficult. Those are easy. Consider the following statements. That is the last question. BIOS is an example for applications of the basic input-output system is a system software. It is inside the ROM chip, read-only memory chip. That is, basic input-output system is a firmware, a system software installed by the manufacturer. It's a firmware. It allows you to configure the basic hardware. Basic input-output system, BIOS, is a software or firmware stored by the manufacturer. Right? We have learned it in grade 10 ICT or grade 9 ICT. Sometimes you might miss it. Right? Anyway, BIOS is a special firmware residing inside the read-only memory of the computer, which will allow you to control the basic input and output configurations. Initially, that is, if you press, like, have you seen the black screen? It says press F1 to set up, press del to set up. Initial screen, very fast. If you press F1, del, F2, some key related to that, that will go to BIOS. If you want to see that, just press that key. Then utility software is example for firmware. Utility software, no. Utility software is basically a software support operating system. Operating system do memory management, file management, security management, hardware management, user management, network management. If there is a software supporting that, that is a utility software. That is also wrong. Spyware is example for malware. Spyware is software. Right? Spyware is spying about us. There is a malware. Malware means unwanted, malicious, harmful, hateful. So C is correct answer. 50, let's see. Don't worry, I will discuss the Python questions with the proper Python explanation next day. Then good night. See you all next week.